What's up, good people? I hope you are doing extremely well, and welcome to another weekend Wealth and Wellness, where we explore the connection between wellness and building wealth. I'm your host, FREESPUR, and today we're going to be talking about some habits that actually lead to success. Some of these we all know, they're kind of a no-brainer. The first one, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to learn to be successful. And you know what? Sometimes people don't realize this. I'm going to say that. Sometimes people don't realize that you have to be willing to learn. You have to have an open mind for learning, to put yourself in a position to be successful, because sometimes you're not going to know everything. You're going to get into situations where you're going to want to be good at something or go into something that you don't know about, that you don't have all of the knowledge about. And you have to be willing to say, I don't know everything about this. Let me learn about this. Let me start to research about this and find out everything that I need to find out about this. And that is a habitual thing. Now, you can think about it in terms of, no, I just want to, I'm good at learning the things that I need one time, but what happens is, if you are of the mindset that you don't need to continue learning things, that, once you get something down, you know everything about it, that will really stunt your growth in whatever you're going into. So it is a habit thing. It is a habitual thing. Learning does not stop with you just acquiring a certain level that you feel you know everything, you know it all. So definitely, use that as one of the things that is a habit that will lead you to success. It's a habit that will lead you to success. Another good habit to have is taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself as much as you can. A lot of people get into successful situations because they are very ambitious and very steadfast on, going hard on whatever they need to go hard on, but they lack the habit of taking care of themselves. And that can be a very huge detriment in your life if you get to a point where, you've done everything you need to do to be successful from a monetary standpoint, but, your health is lacking. You don't want to get to that point, because it just becomes a hindrance for you to live the kind of life that you want to live that has nothing to do with money. Because sometimes when you get to a point where you have enough money, you still want to, enjoy yourself. You still want to live a certain life and be able to enjoy yourself. And a lot of times enjoying yourself has nothing to do with your pockets. Now, another great habit to really nail down is taking responsibility for your actions. I know a lot of times people think this and associate this with helping someone else, because it can be an outward act sometimes. Taking responsibility for your actions can be a huge catalyst for success in your life, because it not only shows that you have leadership qualities to others, but it also puts your own mind at ease. You put yourself at ease with what you have done and what you're doing to and for others. You can rest easy that you've done all that you can do to move the needle for what you're trying to move the needle for, and that you have been responsible for your part of whatever has happened. And you've taken responsibility for it. When you take responsibility for it, regardless of what's going on, it really puts you in a place of power, because you can say to yourself, you know what? I did everything I was supposed to do. I took responsibility for my actions in the situation, so I can move forward in whatever the outcome is. And that's the key. Moving forward in whatever the outcomes are is really what leads you to success, because you can do a lot of different things and get to the point where you're not learning anything from what has happened, because you haven't allowed yourself to be responsible for what has actually happened, and you won't move forward because you haven't learned anything. But if you want to learn something, you have to be able to take responsibility for what's actually happening in whatever situation it is. So that's a great habit that you can have that will lead to success. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is time management and really, understanding being on time, being on time. Now, this is a huge one that I know a lot of people take and leave. Some people think that being fashionably late to everything is a show of, them being on a certain level in terms of, being successful. But let me tell you, being on time, being a person that is dependable in terms of time, it goes a long way with people who really care about, getting things done and, making things happen and, being able to move in the spirit of real success. People who care about that and people who make things happen behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, whatever, really care about the time that they are putting into something. And time management is very important. Now, I'm not saying that, just as we mentioned, in different scenarios, different situations, even if you are saying, for instance, you're going to be fashionably late to whatever this is, and that's a part of your whole thing as an artist or what have you, even in that, making sure that that is done for a reason, that, you're still managing that time is very important. Never get to the point where you are blowing off someone else's time and not presenting yourself as someone who cares about what is happening with someone else's time, because people will take offense to that. And you may not even know it. You may not even see it in the immediate situation, but it'll come back to bite you. I've seen it so many times. People have opportunities and, they're in those opportunities and they get to a point where they're not taking other people's time seriously, and it will ruin those relationships. People will stop using you for things. You will lose clients. All these things can happen if you don't take the habit of taking your time and taking other people's time seriously. So time management, definitely a habit that will lead to success if used properly. There are a ton of, habits that we can talk about that will lead to you having more success in your life. But I think the ones that we just discussed are ones that will definitely lead you in the right direction in a short amount of time if you enact them quickly in your life. I hope this has been extremely helpful for someone. And until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom.